Hello everyone, Jill here. Welcome back to my channel and to another Cherry on Top YouTube hop. This one's for October and our theme is sweet treat. So as you'll see, I'm going to be doing something about latte. But before we start the process video, I wanted to just show you a couple other sweet treat pages I've made recently. This particular insert of my memory keeping traveler's notebook starts with the page about Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2025. And as you can see, it's all about sweet treats. I used the 49 and Market lace dies and stamps, and that was really fun with that kind of subject. And I'll show you a 12 by 12 on this same subject. I don't know if all of this will fit in the frame. This is a polenta cake, and I called this layout Seasonal Treat because it comes out by a bakery in my neighborhood around Easter time. And so I really love these like cornmeal, kind of dense and gritty and interesting polenta cakes. And they're so pretty too, and again, doilies. So I've definitely enjoyed this theme in the past and just wanted to share that. For today, I'm also going to be working in my traveler's notebook, and I might actually take it out to do this. The subject is going to be a little bit different, as long as I have some other sweet treats already documented. I'm going to, and I have actually probably documented beverage sweet treats before, but I've really been enjoying lattes. And as I've already done the journaling, I typed it on one of the tags from the Vicki Boutin Floral Imperium. Can't remember what it's called, but cut apart tag sheets. I think these are available throughout the American Crafts lines, and I love them. I love the way that they're double-sided. You can use either side, or you can do a flip up, which is what I'm going to do today. And so I just put the title in the label part, Lavender Latte, and wrote about how I'm not a regular coffee drinker, but I really do love coffee, and I just love it occasionally. And because I'm not a regular drinker of coffee, I do like it sweetened. So I like, one of my favorite syrups is lavender, which I also like in matcha. And so I just wanted to kind of document the simple pleasure. I'm going to use this stamp that says "Give yourself permission," because I think that's a good reminder that you can use this kind of sentiment for this kind of sweet treat layout if you occasionally give yourself permission to have something sweet and comforting. And so, and I got a couple cool pictures of my latte. This one is a sort of overhead close-up, and I was interested in how the shadow is kind of bluish. And so I'm working in Tim's coat, in the background of this picture is orange. And so I decided to work with brown, and another kind of version of brown is orange, and then throw a little blue in, as long as there's blue in the photo. But also, I thought about products I wanted to use, and I haven't used these Bruno Moreau washi stickers before, and they're called Funky Fall. I'm sure they're from at least a year ago, but I have been using my stash more lately. So I'm going to grab these. I was glad to see, I didn't even realize that you got two in the package. I've used his other ones before, and I do like them. This is older too, and it's another American Crafts, I think another Vicki Boutin. These are transparency with little slides, and I thought if I wanted to add a little orange, I could cut one of those off and staple it on. So I'm thinking of that. I've been using the Simple Stories, I want to say 6x8 paper pad, and so I did already cut mats from this nice wood grain paper. They have a lot of different things in their kind of basics line, so I'm sure you can, if you can't pick up this might be sold out because it's older. There are other Simple Stories 6x8 pads, which are really good for like little mats and so forth. And I do think some of you might have this in your stash, because I think the wood grain's always perennial and popular. So my plan is kind of basically this layout, and I'll have this flip up, and I'm going to adhere it with some washi, and maybe just kind of make a little washy thing under here. Use these labels. I found a couple like coffee colored labels for like the stamping that I want to do. So I have a few ideas as we get started. And I like that when this flips up, it's blue to kind of pick up again that blue color. I always love playing with color. So the other washies are also from Simple Stories, and they're like the mats. Well, this one is actually a dot, but this one is a wood grain. Sorry if the light's weird today. It's sunny out there, but kind of casting shadows. And then this is just a washi with a coffee colored dot on it. And Seattle from Catherine Pooler. These are, I think, great for any kind of coffee themed layout because they're brown and pretty. And then also Catherine Pooler has a couple of inks with perfect names and perfect colors, macchiato and over coffee. So I'll be using those for my stamping. But I also got some Ranger Black because I have one detailed stamp that I think I'll use the black ink for. Yeah, and I also grabbed, I want to use these more. I've been really enjoying collecting these Tim Holtz stamp and stencil handy little sets. And this one just has some splotchy stuff, just kind of mixed media marks. So I might do some of that either in the video or later just for a little texture around the page. Speaking of that, this tag is as it is, except I added typing and added just some stickers with coffee rings. You probably either have stamps or stickers with coffee rings. They're again kind of popular items. Okay, so let's just pull this together, kind of think about what the process will be after planning it out. Sometimes actually things change once you try out your ideas. But I'm going to mat this with, I use the Kikuyu dot roller, but any kind of adhesive would be great. And then this is not going to pop up, so I'm just going to go ahead and adhere to the page. I might add more tape later, but it'll be enough for now. I'm going to put that up kind of high so I have some space to work underneath it. Let's do the other photo. I just love this paper. I know most of it's covered up, but it's just so textural. It's really cool. And I think it works great because it's kind of like extends the look of the table under the drink. And I just kind of tore it off at an angle for a little bit of interest and show a little bit more of the paper. I feel like I have a sticky tape on my table. Okay. And again, I'm just positioning this fairly low because I know I'm going to be putting the tag over this. And as long as it doesn't cover the drink, I'm okay with it covering this. But I really kind of like that there's a little bit of blue and a little bit of orange just in the background detail. I hadn't really thought too much about which tape to use for the tip in. But yeah, I think I'll go with this, the wood grain from Simple Stories. And I don't really want it over my photo, and I only need about that much of it. And then I'll layer up some more. It's a little bit too high. So I might be going over the photo some. There, yeah. So that's nice and gives me a little more room underneath for whatever I plan to do. And gives me, as I said, the chance to kind of have the blue fold up. I think this might be, it's transparent, so it might be an upper layer. Oh, I forgot all about the washi. Okay, I'm gonna pull this up so that we can put some washi underneath this. Some of the big washi, obviously. Now, to which one to choose? And some of it will be covered up. So I'm not gonna worry too much, but I think I want to go maybe with this one with the darker orange because it is also got the more of the design toward the bottom of the strip. And we can place it on there a little bit low. Nice. Yeah, I like it. And right there, it's fairly subtle, And then I think I'll use maybe a little bit of some bolder scraps of it up here, because that'll be covered, not distracting. Maybe we'll do that right now. I'm trying to think if I want, yeah, I think I want to do it first, and I can always add more washi. This is such a funky, fun design. I really enjoyed it when I saw it, and I guess I've been hoarding it a little bit. So let's go ahead and just break it off there. Yeah, there's something a little bit kind of mid-century modern about the design, which is perfect because we eat our breakfast often in a restaurant with that kind of decor. Okay, that's it for now, I think. I might end up adding to this, adding a little more washi and certainly some sequins and some stamping, but that's good for now. Let's work on the labels and the sentiment stamps. This one that says "Give Yourself Permission" is from Tim Holtz, from one of his sentiment collections. The whole thing is different sentiments, and I think I'm going to I need to use a bigger label. It's a little bit too big, so I'm kind of thinking I'll have it come out like this. Not sure, but yeah, I think I'll have it flush to this side. So let's stamp that. Macchiato is the darker of the two, so let's go with that. You don't really need much of this Catherine Pooler ink. The ink pads are very juicy. Perfect, yeah, that turned out better than I thought it would. Give yourself permission. You never know with stamping. And cool. And then before I put that down, let's do the other one. The other one, I'm gonna put "Enjoy," and might try the other coffee, the lighter brown. It's kind of an interesting purplish brown. Yeah, that turned out cute. It didn't, the Y. Yeah, I guess it all stamped. It's a little bit of a curved stamp, which is fun. I already had a bit of, that was even before I stamped, because I had some on my fingers when I was trying out the colors. Okay, and then this is just a little coffee cup that I pulled from one of my stamp sets. I'm gonna go ahead and give that a little black ink. Okay, I don't know if this is in the frame. I'm trying to think. Okay, I want it kind of like that. Okay, that's subtle. Trying to think if I want, I think I want to add another one that I stamp a little bit harder. It's all experimenting, but yeah, that's kind of cool. It's got that little bit of messy coffee at the top. I might do a kind of second generation stamp up there in the corner. It's kind of faint if you can see it. Oh, great. Okay, hold on. Okay, sorry, that was a little bit of a dropping of an ink pad, which you never want to do. At least it isn't carpet in here. Okay, I'm gonna pull this guy off and think about how I want to position it. I think I just kind of tear off the excess and put it high. Nice. That turned out cool. And then Enjoy. I've been doing this kind of layering of labels lately. I go through trends with things that I experiment with, and so that's one of my current experiments. Yeah, and I like that because we're just kind of continuing the coffee color with the ink and the color of the labels. So yeah, so that's fun. Okay, that flips up and that gives a little more color. I think I'm at kind of a good stopping point. I'm going to, you can picture this and look for it on Instagram, but I think I'm just going to be adding a sprinkling of these sequins kind of up diagonal like that. I'm not sure, but I might add a little bit more washi under there, or more likely some of these textural stamps, and then just use a little bit more of the brown ink, but I might even bring in a little bit of orange ink for a bit of pop of color. But there you get it, another nice little entry in my traveler's notebook on enjoying a sweet coffee. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. Be sure to hop along to the other videos in this series and have fun making your own sweet treat layouts after you get all the inspiration. Be sure to leave comments on all the videos. That gives you a chance to win store credit. See you next time.